Okay, y'all. All right. Previous video, part number 2. Here's what basically happened. I was in the middle of setting up the pinion backlash, not backlash, but the pinion bearing preload and the torque. I'd done it with the old crush sleeve. Didn't work out. Uh, Way too much bearing preload. So, and it was basically, to make it really simple to understand, this took a way more torque to turn than it ever should have. Way, way, way more. So, I went back and forth quite a few times. I tried this sleeve here, this crush sleeve here, did not work. Couldn't get the backlash, bearing preload. Backlash comes later. Couldn't get the bearing preload correct. So basically, using the mics and some of these shims, I used the old crush sleeve with some of these shims and got it down to where I've got the correct amount of preload at the correct torque of 210 foot-pounds. And that is 1.25 inches. That's an 1.25 inch nut. Now, the original nut, or not the original nut, that is the original nut, sorry. The nut that came with a set is a self-locking nut. I wasn't crazy about using that because they didn't use that on the original setup. And I'm like, no. So, what I got to do next is I got to go and get this up on the jack stands, and I got to load the differential carrier, which is over there on the table. I got to load it in there, and get that thing in there, and get it all happy in its new location. So, man, these bearings turn so nice. It's just, I replaced these like a couple of years ago, and then about like 6 months after I did this, the pinion bearing, they went out. So, you know how it goes, Sometimes you can't win. But, so, anyway, yeah. Previous video got ended abruptly because I knocked the camera, my phone, off of the toolbox. It fell down into the floor. Fortunately, nothing got cracked, nothing busted. Everything's great. It just prematurely ended the video. So, my fault. But, set you all up here so you can see what's going on. And I'm going to get the rear end set up here on the jack stands like I had it earlier. It's just when I was putting the pinion in and everything like that, which I'll show you here. I can rotate this thing by hand pretty easily in both directions, which is great. But I got to get it up on jack stands now. So that's the next thing. And let's see. This can be sometimes a little precarious. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. So, I've got the front seal already in, pinion seal. So that's all good. These roll them back just a little bit. All right, I think I told you all I'm going to make a tool to adjust those. They actually have a tool that where you can adjust these side-to-side bearing cups. These press on the races, okay, and you can adjust these. They're threaded in there, okay, they're threaded in here, and you can adjust them backwards and forwards. Problem is, I don't have one of them tools, and you can see the inside of that cup, that adjuster right there, how it's made. I don't have anything like that. I spend a lot of time making something that will work in there, but let's face it, what I'm thinking is make something that is going to, that I can go and use, you know, like this Allen wrench, you know, like that. But, you know, a person needs a lot more, what should we say, ability to be able to adjust that. So, I said I was going to make something to go in there. So I think yeah, I think using some of these Allen wrenches to help adjust that will be not a bad deal. Okay, and basically adjusting these adjusts the amount of contact with the pinion gear. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind right there. Now, I really should have been doing all of this months ago or years ago, but I went and monkeyed around and, you know, focused all my energy and efforts on a whole bunch of other things. So, there you go. Ah. Don't you hate when stuff is oily and slippery? You almost drop it. Okay. If you want a good indication how the bearing is doing, look at your races and see how they're doing. You know, previous video you saw some of these races. This one here looks really nice. This one's doing really well. I think this one's got a long life ahead of it. Yeah. So this one came out of over here. Okay. See, they sit in there like that. So this one came out of here. You want to wipe away any debris that might be on there, on any of the surfaces, because you don't want anything getting in the way. So, just a little quick little test fit. Yeah, I think that'll work just fine. Okay. Now, doing all of this, you got to be kind of a Yeah, you got to kind of be a bit of a... Not quite sure. So, I guess what I'm going to have to do... Like that. See how I'm doing it there? Okay. Okay. Now, what's going to be really super important is I gotta get the play between the ring gear and the pinion gear correct. Okay, I can't have that varying in any way. It's got to be right on the money. Now I'm going to worry about the internals in here later. Right now, I'm more concerned about no. Yeah, right now I'm a little more concerned about getting this all set up correctly. So, then I'll worry about the internal bits and pieces that goes inside there. Let's just getting this thing moved over a little bit. Get the bolt holes to line up. There we go. Got that one moved over. Okay. Now I gotta do the same thing on that side. If you notice on here, this has these, the way this is made, you notice this side is flat and squared off and this side is rounded. They have a certain way they go in. Let's see, they go in like so, like that. Whereas you see the rounded part right there and right here, both are rounded. So that flat side, there's no way in the world that's going to work there. So, did I get the bolt holes lined up? Maybe. Feels like it. Oh yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Those worked out great. Okay. Now, if you decide to build your own, you decide to rebuild a rear end like this, or similar to this, or maybe entirely different. If you decide to do it yourself, first go have some time, spend some time with your local psychiatrist. No, I'm teasing. I'm teasing. Some things though to keep in mind: cleanliness. Just like building the engine, just like building anything else, Cleanliness is a really good idea. Now, you don't have to achieve the level of cleanliness like you do like on an engine, but it's not a bad idea to try and get it as clean as you possibly can. Okay? So, I'm trying to get you all in a better place here so you can see. But now next I got to torque these down. So that's going to be next. So I'm going to pause this while I do just that. Okay, y'all. Alright, I am to that point now. I've got my bearing caps on. I've got a lot of the slop adjusted out back and forth here between these two bearing adjuster cups. That's what I'm calling them. I'm calling them bearing adjuster cups. Now I've got to get my backlash correct. Now this is basically the slop between the ring and the pinion. Okay? That's what this is. So, and what you do, if you've got it wrong, you adjust it one way or the other. Okay, so let me get kind of... Alright, so well, I had it zeroed. Silly me. Okay. So, let me zero the gauge again. And when you're working with one of these, you got to be kind of sensitive, because they are very sensitive. Okay. I have no play there at all. I'm supposed to have like 3. Supposed to have like 3 to 9. So I can adjust these bearing adjuster cups. I can adjust them out a little bit. When you do that, okay, yeah, I'm moving the whole housing there. You know, I got a lot more play there. So I'm going to adjust this one up. Oops. What do I get for working in such tight confines? Okay. It looks like I've got about 2, so I need a little bit more. That's 4 right there. Now basically what they want you to do is they want you to rotate it to a different position, check that, rotate it to a different position, check it. Basically check it at 4 different positions. I don't know if you saw anything with my head in the way, but there's 4. I'm trying to keep everything from moving. Yeah. And the camera wants to focus on the ring gear and not the dot. There we go. That's better. That's better. Okay. You see the needle moving there? It's about 4. Not a whole lot. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to do this. We'll mark this gear right here. That gear tooth, rather. Okay. Little yellow mark. Then I'm going to back off my dial indicator. And get it out of the way. Now, need to go not a full revolution. We're going to go half a revolution. Check it again. Check another tooth. Whoops. These things are they're really nice to have, dial indicators, especially for work like this. But I'm just going to let you know that there's sometimes they are a little bit of a hassle. Okay, so zeroed it up. Let's see, zero it again. Got maybe 2 right there. I know what I'm going to do. I've been trying to turn this by hand and it's so silly of me. I need to be turning it with like a wrench or something right there. Although I don't like where this thing is set up at. It's just it's kind of bouncy right there where it was at. So I'm going to reposition it. And okay. Oh, shit. Went too far. This is tedious work. I'm going to just go ahead and tell you, it is tedious, tedious, tedious. Very, very tedious. Unless you do this every day, this gets to be kind of old hat. Got about, let's see, I need to make sure. Can't feel it moving. Just making sure I'm not moving it too much. Let's see. Yeah, that's not. Okay,